Today we'll be talking about a new free tool that I just came across called Ideogram. It's an AI image generation tool similar to Midjourney or Leonardo. So what's the difference? Well, I'm sure you have all noticed that if you ask Midjourney or Leonardo AI to create a t-shirt design, a sticker, a logo, or any other design that needs text, those tools aren't able to get the text right. So this new company is working to solve the issue with reliable text generation. We'll explore real-world use and turn one of those images it creates into a vector that's suitable to print on a shirt and see how it looks in a few mockups. So let's jump right in. Ideogram.ai. From here, you're going to be able to log in directly or create an account. Again, it's completely free. All you need is a Gmail account. You notice it has a really nice clean layout to it and very simple to navigate. At the very top, we have a section where you can type in your prompt. Right below it are the different style tags. Let's click on See All. So these are all the different style options that it currently has. And it also has a lucky style. This option just selects 3 random styles. Let's go ahead and click that. Here we go. If you notice, it's selected 4K, Cyberpunk, and 3D render. I'm going to deselect these for now. Right below it are your options for recent images, trending, following, and top. And in a little bit, you'll notice that it will actually go ahead and refresh. There we go. So it's constantly refreshing with the latest images that others are creating. And similar to Leonardo, you were able to click on any of them to get just that prompt right over here on the top right. You can use this to create your own version of this image and use that for inspiration. Also, if you notice, the text is pretty good. It says, happy is an attitude. And if we look at the prompt that they used was funny vector t-shirt design with text. Happy is an attitude. I got that right. We're also able to scroll through the different options that it provided. So happy is an attitude. Yeah, that's legible. Okay, there we go. Sometimes it still has a few errors in it. From what I've noticed, it gets it right maybe about 40 to 50% of the time. But since it is providing you 4 different images, you're always able to select at least 1 or 2. So let's go ahead and maybe click another image as we scroll through here. Let's see, there's another one with some really good text on it. Maybe you could go up here. There's Jack Skellington here. Just pretty funny. And it got that right. Okay. Maybe we'll take a look at one more. Now let's take a look at this little gum tree. So, with the words wayfinders, pathways. Okay. So in this case, they got this completely wrong. But again, it's always a roll of the dice. From what I've seen, it gets it right, again, maybe 40 to 50% of the time. But in this case, it completely did not hit the mark. But all right, let's type in our own prompts and see what we get. So for now, I'm going to be using the prompt t-shirt design. A ghost floating out of a coffin with a big yawn, stretching its arms. The text will be Wake the Dead. For my styles, I'm going to select illustration. And there's a typography one here. Here we go. That's pretty good. For now, I'll want it to be aspect ratio 101. And again, this is where you select the different aspect ratios that you want to generate. And with that being said, let's see what happens. Finished. Here are my 4 images that it's provided at the very top. We'll scan through these and we'll take a look at the text. Okay, so Wake the Dead, right? It somewhat got it right at the very top. I don't know where that kid or hid and Ed is coming from. But okay. But there we go, Wake the Dead. The text could be better in the W, but otherwise it's completely legible. Wake Dead, so it just omitted the. But Wake the Dead, that's actually fantastic. That's really good. I'm impressed by that. I even like all the lettering. I wouldn't change any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and download this. Now let's test out a couple other prompts here. So I'm going to change this prompt. My second prompt's going to be T-shirt vector text Squad Ghouls. That's going to be the text. For the graphic, I want a group of divers. I probably don't need the word graphics, so I want a group of divers and fun-looking ghosts taking a selfie. Illustration typography, maybe I'll select poster this time, and let's click generate. So it finished. I don't think it really got the general idea correct. For the most part, the text looks fine though. Squad Ghouls, I don't know where this habs is coming from. Squad Ghouls there, that's perfect, that's legible. Squad Ghouls, okay. Images look kind of funky, but the text is, actually, now that I'm looking at it, looks like the A is one cut off, but I mean, we could make that adjustment real quick. That's not too bad. And let's look at the last image. Squad Ghouls. Yeah, that works. I mean, the S, again, little funky there, but nothing that we couldn't fix in a second. Actually, I've gone ahead and created several images, so I'm going to go into my library by just clicking on my profile. So here we go. Here's some other alternative versions of the Wake the Dead that I really enjoyed. This one actually, I think is perfect. We're going to be taking this image in a second. We're going to throw it into Illustrator, create a vector graphic, and also clean up some of the small details that kind of bother me. The tool from Photoshop called Illustrator, it's a vector graphic tool. You're able to create vector graphic images, and vector images are images that are fully scalable to any size without losing any resolution, because it works on paths and it doesn't work on pixels. So if you have something that's, let's say, 2 inches by 2 inches, you can scale it up to 100 inches by 100 inches without losing any quality. So I'm going to create a new canvas. I'm going to set this to 16 by 16. That's my preferred canvas size when working on t-shirts. For now, I'm going to keep the RGB colors and the raster of 5 to 300 dpi. I only need one artboard for what I'm trying to accomplish. So click create. And there we go. It's completely blank, and it's the first step. Let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to go to make sure that I'm in Illustrator. I'm going to go to File, Save As. Call this Wake the Dead T-shirt. I'm not going to adjust anything else. I'm just going to click on OK. Perfect. Now that it's saved, I can drop in that image that I had. So I'm going to go here into my download folder, and I'm just going to drag it into the canvas. Okay. Now that the image is in my canvas, I can go up to the top and I can align it center. So that's horizontal, and now I can align it center vertically. That will drop it into my canvas. To the left here, sometimes you might have this in align to selection. So just make sure that you're in align to artboard. And when I was talking about the canvas, I was talking about the artboard there. Okay. Now with that in place and it's perfectly centered, I can start to make this a vector image, right? Because as we were talking about, if we're looking at this image here, and let's zoom into 600%, you'll see all of this pixelation here. We don't want that. So, we want to make this into a vector. It's really easy. At the very top, you'll notice you have an image trace option, and to the right, there's a drop down. I'm going to select 16 colors for this image, and it'll take a couple of minutes to process. In the meantime, I'll let you know that I'll try my best not to use any shortcuts, and that'll stick to whatever tools I have in my workspace. All right, excellent. That's done. So let's zoom in again. So if you want to zoom in from your workspace, just click right here on the magnifying glass icon as your zoom tool. and then you're able to click in here, and you'll see the zoom magnification on your file at the very top left. So say I'm at 150, so let's go back to 600. There we go. Now, if you notice, there's no pixelation anymore. This is all really nice and clean vector lines. So perfect. Well, we're almost there. So I'm going to click back. I am going to use a shortcut here, and I'm going to use Command 0, and that's going to zoom me back to see the full screen. But again, you could have just used your magnifying glass to zoom back out. Okay. Now let's take a look at the image. See what we want. This is where you would game plan what you want to fix. Okay, so I want to get rid of this artifact here. The D, I'm not liking this little bump here, so I might fix that, or I might just take this D actually and place it in its place and realign it. I would also like the W, the T, and the D to be almost all the same height. So I'll adjust that, and this H here is really bothering me. I've noticed that every other letter looks pretty good. It's just this H right here that I would want to fix. So let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, I guess one other thing. I'll let this zoom in here. The outline is this light blue, but I noticed that it changes. Sometimes I'm seeing like a dark gray or reddish maroon. And no, I want that all to be black. So the image is pretty good. So I guess those will be the only small edits we'll be making. Okay. So again, Command 0 to zoom back out. Now with my image selected, what I want to do is I want to click on Expand. That's going to break all the image elements. And if I were to use my direct selection tool, which is right here, it's the white arrow compared to the default black or gray arrow. This selects individual elements. So say I'm able to just select that. So okay, now that I've got everything expanded, I want to do one last thing. I'm going to go to Objects, and I'm going to go to Ungroup. Okay. Now, with my regular selection tool, I should be able to move those individual objects without having to go into the direct select tool. So first step was bring in the image. Then we go ahead and did the 16 color live trace. Now we expanded it. Okay. Now I'm going to select the entire image by clicking and dragging around it. And I want to actually move the image outside of my artboard. Why am I doing this? This is just like a little hack, or I guess the way that I work. Since my canvas is white, when I have this white text on top of it, so for example, if I were to remove this background here, right, and if I had this W here, it'd be really hard to see. So that's why I'm just moving it over to the right, because I basically just want to work on this gray canvas here, or this gray background. So perfect. I've selected that, but if you notice, there's still some elements that we would still want to remove. For this, I'm going to click on my white arrow, which is a direct select tool. I'm just going to select and delete and just clean this up real quick. Shouldn't take me very long. Okay, that's looking a lot better. Select that, select this, and that, and okay. We're almost there. So again, I wanted to get rid of this artifact here on the left. Boom, it's gone, selected, deleted. We're also talking about fixing this D. So I'm going to zoom in. Okay, I'm going to use my, let's see, my select tool. I think I'm just going to delete it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And now I'm going to paste it. Okay. Now I'm going to try to place it in its spot. It's really easy to rotate it. So all you have to do is just move to one of the corners. And if you notice, you'll have that option to rotate the image. That's pretty good. Do want to make it taller though. And I am going to hold down Shift. That will make it proportional. Okay, now I just want to align it a little bit. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to click on the T, hold down Shift. Okay. I'm going to move it ever so slightly there. Maybe the T, bring it down a little bit. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now, let's see. Do the same for the W. Okay. Now let's zoom out. So I'm going to press Command minus. See how that looks. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Maybe I might want to rotate this tiny bit more. Yeah. Okay. Okay, all right. Maybe move this A just a tiny bit. This in T. Now I'm going to rotate this E. And just raise it up a little bit. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Next thing that I want to do, as I was talking about, I want to change these background color images to be all black. So I'm going to select one. And here's a little quick hack so I don't have to select everything again like I did. I'm going to go to Select, Same, and Fill Color. It's going to select everything that was my fill color. So that's right here on the left. It selected everything that was that blue. Now I'm just going to click on my color palette, and I'm just going to drag this to black. You could also just type in 000 here. Okay. That's pretty good. Now, I still see some areas, though, that I would want to select. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select on the area that I want to turn black. I'm going to go to Select again. I'm going to go to Same, Fill Color again. Make this fill color 0000, black. All right. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. I also want to select this. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. Yeah. All right, then. I'm liking that. There's some spots that are still bothering me a little. Boom. Okay, perfect. You know what? Just thought of something while I'm looking at this. I want to rotate this. So I'm going to select this element that kind of looks like a little lightning bolt. There we go. So I just selected it and again, clicked on one of the corners. Actually, what I can also do is I can copy it. So I'm going to go select the element, copy, paste. Now I'm just going to move this over here. Okay, but I want to actually rotate it, or what it's called, reflect. So all I did was make sure that the image is selected. Right click on my mouse. I'm going to go to transform. I'm going to go to reflect. And I'm not going to make any other changes other than just making sure that it's set to vertically. Click OK. And with my mouse, with my arrows on my keyboard, I'm just going to tab and shift it over. All right, that's pretty cool. I don't know if there's anything else that's really bothering me down here. Actually, okay. Now, yeah, down here is good. Something that I just noticed was the lack of eyes on the zombie. I mean, the zombies don't need to always have eyes, but maybe what we can do is we can select these eyes on the other zombies. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Click on one of the eyes. Now I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard. Click on the outside. Click on this set. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to just use my shortcuts there. I hope you guys don't mind. That's pretty close. I'm going to hold down Shift. And I'm going to rotate. And I'm going to place them around there. Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's see if there's anything else that's bothering me around this area. No, I think that's fine. It's fine. I even like the mouths inside the hands. That's pretty cool. Okay. So really the last step is to fix this H here. So let's zoom in. Command plus for me. And I'm going to use spacebar to kind of just drag over to where I need to. But again, all those will be inside your magnifying glass option or your hand tool here. Oops. Okay. Now let's figure this out. What would be the best option to do a removal of this element right here? Yeah, Pathfinder. Okay. So this is a little bit more advanced, but definitely worth learning. So I'm going to use my pen tool. Just keep it on the default option. Let's actually zoom in a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, I don't want to click on this actual element. I want to click on top. So yeah, there we go. And what I want to do is I want to create an vector element that's going to go right on top, because what I want to do is actually to remove this, and using the Pathfinder I should have that option. Maybe here. Yeah, okay, that should work. So hope you don't mind. I'm going to redo that again. I just wanted to make sure that would work. So, okay. So from the pen tool, just make sure you have colors, and makes it a lot easier. Start at the very top, just click on it, just make one point. Now, if you notice, you have a line that's now following your icon for the pen tool, and that's where the next line, wherever you stop, it's going to create that line. So I click it here. Now from here, I'm actually not going to let it go. I clicked, and I'm moving the mouse to create a shape. For this, you could probably just make it pretty minimal. I mean, in the way that you don't have to create too many points. You could probably just go here, because this is kind of grungy and it'll work. So you can probably just make these 4 points here. That's all I did. Just click 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to just go back to my selection tool. Now I'm going to select these 2 elements. Now here I have my Pathfinder options. If you didn't have them there though, you can always pull them up, and they should be in your Windows and Pathfinders. So if they're not on your default workspace, you can always go ahead and bring them up here via Windows and Pathfinder. So from here, I'm going to go here where it says trim. And now, again, going back to my direct select tool, clicking this, and there we go, it's completely gone. Didn't have to get too crazy. Since it's got a grungy look to it, I think that's perfect. Yeah, I don't want to make any further changes. Now what I want to do is I want to select this image. I'm going to actually group it now. So I'm going to go back into my objects and group. So now when I select any part of the image, I can just grab it, the entire image without the individual elements. So I'm going to drag it back over to the artboard. And if you notice, right, we had talked about the fact that the white types would be really hard to view here. And that's why I decided to do that. With the image selected, I'm going to go back and make sure that it's aligned horizontally and vertically. Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe we can make it larger. So just select the image. I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard, and I'm going to scale this up. So by clicking and dragging the corners and holding down Shift, it's doing the scaling proportional, just making sure it's centered one more time. And I think I'm going to save this now, because I think for making this into a vector, I think that's it. I think now all you have to do is just click on File, and we're going to export this. So I'm going to go to Export As. That's right. I'm going to save this as a PNG. I'm going to use my artboard, just making sure that it's only going to export whatever's inside the artboard. I'm going to click on Export. Yep, I'm going to make sure my resolution is set to high, so that's at 300 ppi. I'll keep the anti-aliasing set to type optimized. And now I'm going to click, yep, background color transparent. That's what I want. I'm going to click OK. I just want to show you guys how it looks like when this image is used for mock-up of a shirt. And I just find that Printful is really quick and really useful for that. So inside of Printful, I'm just selecting one of the shirts. I'm going to just drop in my designs here so we can take a look at it real quick. I'm going to upload a new file. Here we go, my Wake the Dead t-shirt. I'm going to open this up. Wait for it to upload. Perfect. I'm going to click on apply. That looks pretty good. In a matter of minutes, you're able to get something that is printable. I mean, I would still highly recommend cleaning some things up that, would bother you. But for me, I think that works. Now we can also take a look at what it would look like as a tote bag. That's pretty good. Do note again, though, because you have the white text and only the outline around the image, if you were to select a white shirt or a white hoodie, your text would be not completely, but not very legible. But again, as long as you use a dark background, it works completely fine. I think that looks great. Well, that's it for this tutorial, and I just want to take this moment to thank everybody for the great support. I've gotten some really fantastic comments, and I've gotten some suggestions, some questions and topics that you guys want me to explore. Someone has suggested looking into using Midjourney or Leonardo to make coloring books, so currently working on that, and there will be plenty of videos coming soon, so stay tuned. Thanks.